Hey guys, Jim Taylor here. I want to share some of the fun things I've been doing up here on the property. This is what we have dubbed the sanctuary plot. It's on the northwest corner of my 40 acres that we have. You know, if you recall, I'm in the middle of the Ouachita National Forest, actually inside Muddy Creek Wildlife Management Area. I'm bound on four sides by Wildlife Management Area. This is the sanctuary plot that we just started this year to clear out. My wife and I, we did this without any heavy equipment. We came in here with chainsaws. We spent several weekends. We cut all this stuff down. We piled it up. We burned it to get rid of it so that we don't have all of that debris and things that you typically see when you have a bulldozer and something that's pushed all this stuff off the side that the deer have to navigate in order to get to the food plot. So we've done all that. You'll also see where there's a few, with the exception of a few large stumps, most of the stumps I have cut down fairly flush with the ground. I've done that because, yes, I didn't bring any equipment up here during the removal of the trees, but I am going to bring equipment up here to work the soil. And I don't want to bring plows or things of that nature or tillers up here for multiple reasons. One of them is I'm worried about erosion on these. This is very thin soil up here, so I'm trying to be very careful how we do this. But I have got rigged up a couple of large tires that I'm dragging behind my tractor. And what I've done with those tires, I've got bolts sticking up out the sidewalls, and I flip those upside down so those bolts are now dragging and scratching the ground. It gives me about an 8-foot path behind my tractor. So if I do hit a stump or I hit a bolt, those bolts will lift up out of the way because that rubber's pliable. And so saving my equipment, the harrow and my tractor at the same time. So it worked like a charm. So not only did I do it on the initial prepping of the ground, so I'd scratch up the dust so I get good seed to soil contact, but after I spread the fertilizer and my seed, we went back over it again, mixed the stuff so I get the fertilizer and the seed covered. So it worked like a charm. So the area behind here is kind of what I'm really trying to get. My point is this area behind me, that's 3 acres that we have manipulated and worked. We bought this property almost 4 years ago. And for the first 2 or 3 years, we've done nothing but work on a cabin. Every weekend we were here. I didn't even hardly have time to hunt, man. And so we're just now getting that. This is the first summer we've actually had, spending some significant time doing these types of work. So now that we're here, we're starting to do some things and trying to grow into, how do we manage this 40 acres we've been blessed to get here. So first thing I did is I called the Arkansas Game and Fish. They got a great private lands program. In our particular area, Northwest, Michelle Furr came out, walked the property with us, wrote us up a prescription. And there's some obvious things that, of course, even I knew we needed to do. But Michelle and them gave us, what we needed for basal area, how much light we need to have coming down through the overstory in order to generate some greenery underneath. So we've got that prescription. Another thing I'm really I focus on, and I'm a big fan of Dr. Craig Harper at the University of Tennessee. He's a professor of wildlife management. I have bought his book called Food Plots and Early Successional Management, as well as I followed his information and teachings on forest stand improvement. And he will at least preach to you that food plots are great, but they are not a substitute for what we can do with the habitat behind us. So again, this is 4/10 of an acre. That is 3 acres that I've done. I understand I got 40, so we got a lot of work to do, but that kind of gets us started. I'm a deer hunter, so I wanted to be able to at least get rolling right away and have some things happening. And as we continue this, we will start modeling, because we got another food plot down on the other end of the property where we've done the same thing. It's about 3/10 of an acre, but we made the food plot, and then we've moved out into the forest trying to open it up. And we're going to open it up, and so we can get some of that sunlight hitting the forest floor, giving us some of the browse and things that'll make those deer stay and give them cover and things of that nature. And it also, we don't have the inputs that were required when you have a food plot. I have to buy fertilizer, I got to buy seed, I got to have the time and energy it takes to do that. This stuff up here, I just got to burn it every 3 years and I'm okay. So kind of excited about that, and kind of looking forward to doing more of that. So I wanted to share that with you here, guys. Thanks. Okay, behind me here is the area, just here's the food plot. This area is what that 3 acre was I was telling you about that we've went in and done some timber stand or forest stand improvement. We've used hatchets and herbicide on most everything out here that might be blackjack oak and maple and even some of the post oaks. We've tried to eliminate. We left a lot of this stuff standing. A lot of this stuff was small. We could have easily come in and cut it down, but I didn't want to have all that mess that you have to deal with. So it's best just to let it send up, fall down whenever it rots and gets out of the way. And there are, we burned this. There's some fireweed and stuff that's already come up. Some of the stumps are already sprouting, or some of the trees are already sprouting at the base. And that's okay. Out in the food plot, I tried to kill the stumps. I actually sprayed the stumps. But inside this, what I call sanctuary area, I didn't do that. I'm gonna let that stuff come up as it would be naturally. I was always careful if I did cut down an elm, make sure we didn't spray that. I know that's really good for deer coming up out of stumps. So that should be a buffet for deer come the spring next year.